Going on, guys? We're back here with another video. And more importantly, we are back with 4 wins on 4 on the bounce at home at the Emirates, beating Fulham 2 goals to 1. And you know what? It was not a walk in the park at all. Even last week at my Bournemouth match reaction, I said, look, it's not going to be easy for us. Mitrovic is the biggest troll known to man, second to Mo Salah, the ghost in the nine goals today against Bournemouth, and he did fuck all. But let's focus on what happened at home. At the Emirates, we didn't give up. We put a fight, but it wasn't our best performance. Let's be honest. After Eddie Nketiah came on and after Martin Odegaard really stepped up to take on the lead. When the going was tough, when it was tough for us to get a breakthrough from Leno, making a lot of saves from Granit Xhaka in the first half, along with denying Saka of a chance and Martinelli of a chance, it was hard for us to get through in the first half. We tried, and we didn't give up. And that mistake from Gabriel, for him to come back and redeem himself, that's definitely something that goes down in our books this season. That last season, this Arsenal team, without the reinforcements that we had. And keep in mind, today, we were without key players to our squad, Zinchenko and Partey. Today, to get the 3 points in the bag without those two players means a lot to me. And I don't care how we played. I don't care how we performed. Yes, I'm going to talk about it and I'm going to analyze it. But at the end of the day, that 3 points matters. And you know what? I highlighted it on my Twitter while the match was ongoing, doing the commentary. And I said, look, Zinchenko was a huge miss today, along with Thomas Partey. Whether you like it or not, they were a huge miss today, and it showed. And it transpired on the pitch. But we didn't let it affect us, and we didn't fold under pressure when Fulham tried to come at us. When Fulham tried to come at us, we raised our intensity in the second half. The first half wasn't our best performance, let's be real. But we got the 3 points in the bag, and that's what matters. So before I go into my match reaction, I want to give massive credits to Gabriel Magalhaes, who turned it around for himself after the mistake leading to the first goal from Mitrovic, a very easy chance and a very poor mistake from Gabriel Magalhaes. For him to turn it around and get a goal for us and put us on the score sheet, and then to give us fans that hope that, we're going to turn this around, we're still in the game, we're not giving up, that's the Arsenal team I want to see more of. That's the Arsenal team with more reinforcements, like a left center mid and a winger before the deadline next week at Aston Villa. We're still doing better, and we're doing better than last season with the money that we've spent, right? I got to give credit to these players. They didn't give up, and they didn't back down putting a fight. It wasn't an easy game, even though we were playing at home. Fulham, they really played well today, and they were really well organized. They were, in the first half, they were dominating our midfield and trying our best to stop our midfielders from going anywhere near goal. The second half is where we raised our intensity. But at the end of the day, we got the 3 points, and it's 4-4, baby. But before I get into my match reaction, let me go ahead and run back that intro real quick. What's going on? This is Melina here, and I'm back with another video. But more importantly, before I get into the Arsenal win today, I'm absolutely buzzing. I just reached 3,047 subscribers on my channel. It's been a year since I started my channel, and as you guys know, I love talking about Arsenal. I love Fantasy Premier League, even though my game week is horrendous at the moment. But with that being said, I couldn't have done this without all of your support, whether you're watching on Twitter or whether you're watching directly on my YouTube channel. I really appreciate all of you tuning in across the world, giving me support, and also motivating me when I felt discouraged to continue making videos. And I really appreciate everyone who gave me the opportunity to come on their channels as a guest to talk FPL and to talk Arsenal throughout the seasons. But let's get back into the game. Today's win was a massive performance. And it wasn't necessarily our best performance, I'll be honest, but some key players stood out for me. And first things first, we saw early on around 3 p.m. UK time, Team News, shout out to Team News, leaked lineups. He posted that Thomas Partey was out of the squad today. He wasn't even in the team hotel. So a lot of us got worried because of the injury. Personally, I feel with Zinchenko and Thomas Partey being injured, I do feel that they're taking a precaution because we know what happened to Partey last season, and we don't want to take a risk this season. The other thing I do want to highlight, though, the transfer window is not over, so do keep calm. I really hope we sign a winger and we sign that left center mid. Fingers crossed it's Yuri Tillemans. But it's key that, you know, we're short in midfield, and if something was to happen to Thomas Partey like today, we really need reinforcements, because, you know, as good as El Neni is sometimes, he just does the basics like an employee. He just will do the basics, but nothing really above and beyond than that. And it kind of transpired today. Granit Xhaka, he did his best today. He tried to make some shots, but Leno denied him. And he found it difficult to get past Fulham today. Let's be honest. Today's performance, though, there were some key players that stood out for me, and some players that I really want to big up who don't get enough credit. First of all, the Gabriel mistake that shouldn't have happened in the first place. Let's be honest there. I think Gabriel, you know, his decision-making at times isn't necessarily the greatest, and that goal should have never happened in the first place. And the other thing is, I really felt that he just wasn't timing himself right. And in terms of the amount of pressing we were doing in that first half, we ramped up the pressure, and we had them captured and trapped in their own half. They couldn't even get outside their own half, which was great to see. But when Saka tried to shoot, denied by Leno. When Martinelli tried to shoot early on in the first half, denied by Leno. Leno, every single angle these players were trying from, it was denied by Leno, and Leno made some good saves today. On the other hand, our keeper, Aaron Ramsdale, did make some good saves today. He was tested here and there. Nothing like a camera save, I'd say, but he did make some good saves. He kept Mitrovic's header out in the second half, and great block by Ben White today. Ben White had a really good game today, and I feel he was one of the better defenders. But one thing I will say is the Rolls-Royce defender that we have, and to me feels like a new signing, and I'll say it over and over again until the cows come home. William Saliba got the assist today on the score sheet. Not a goal, but you know what? I'll take the assist. But this guy's performance, the calmness, the composure that he has on and off the ball in terms of movement, calm and collected as a center back at that age. My word, did that loan spell from Marseille help him a lot, because his composure, you know, his composure himself. And when Mitrovic got injured in the first half, Arteta, you know, quickly grabbed the team over to do a mini team talk. And, you know, we got our shit together in the second half. We upped the intensity in the second half. And Ramsdale, you know, made a brilliant save to deny Mitrovic. But to me, the key players that stood out today was William Saliba, Martin Odegaard. Martin Odegaard today was sensational. That's what a captain should do. When the going goes tough, he took it on his shoulders. He took the responsibility, and he really demonstrated, you know, something like Cesc Fabregas. And, you know, I know it might be too extensive to say that, but he took the game on the scruff of his neck type of player. And he was brilliant, dominating and bossing that first half. And that's the Martin Odegaard I saw last season. You know, and the price tag that we paid for him, it was great to see that. It was great to see his performance today. And to me, he is my man of the match. There were times, though, because of El Neni's lack of directness and lack of, you know, awareness on the pitch, he had to pull to that side more because to help out with El Neni. And because we didn't have Partey, it was kind of hard for him to do both. And I think that may have impacted Saka's impact in the game as well in a minute. However, I do also want to give credit to Ben White. Ben White had a great game today, but my man of the match is Martin Odegaard. Another player I do want to give massive credit to is when he came on in the second half, he raised the impact today in that second half. He caused Fulham a lot of problems and a run for their money with his running. His cameo appearance today was incredible. And the amount of training this guy has done, you can see how much he's bulked up, but also he's no longer getting forced off the ball, is no other than Eddie Nketiah. Eddie Nketiah, 2 seasons ago, you wouldn't have even started him against teams like Aston Villa. Let's be honest. He wouldn't have got the game time. And he was quality today. And need I say, it's about time we start acknowledging and giving credit to these players. And you know what? I'd even go one step further to say, because we're playing 3 games this week, yes, we've completed one of them with the Fulham game, but we have 2 more games to go this week. The fixtures are coming thick and fast, so we are going to see some players rested here and there for precautionary reasons and also to get rest so we don't overplay them. But I really feel that I wouldn't mind Nketiah starting for Aston Villa when we play them at home next week. So next weekend. So I really think that as well. I'll get into your comments really soon. So shout out to everyone tuned in. And if you're watching on Twitter, do hop over to my YouTube channel and subscribe to Miss Melina. I do FPL and Arsenal content. My last two videos was the Bournemouth reaction as well as my FPL game week review. I will be doing my game week 4 review. I apologize, I wasn't able to get my game week 3 review in time. My editing software was down and I just couldn't get to it in time. So I will do it as both a game week 3 and game week 4 review, and also players to look out for as well, but we'll tune into that later. Later on, in terms of, the pressing, the directness, the involvement, and giving Fulham a run for their money. But Fulham didn't make it easy for us. That's one thing I'll say. And the refereeing in this game, the officiating, was shocking. The card on Gabriel should have never stood. Let's be honest. And there were times in this game where I felt like the referee not being reasonable, fair, or in terms of just, I'd say. And I know we shouldn't do that because we won the game anyway, and we should always play to, to the best of our ability and whatever we transpire on the pitch. We should never, blame the refereeing. But you saw today, most of those Fulham players should have been on a card. Let's be honest. I say it how it is, so I'm going to say it how it is. And you know what? At the end of the day, it wasn't our best performance, but there were key areas to highlight of this game. And I think, in the first half, we were well on top. We only managed one shot on target at that point, which was the Bukayo Saka chance that Leno saved. And Fulham barely got out of their own half. We were really pressing them hard, and they weren't able to keep control. But they were really organized in the back. They defended well, and they really tried their best. We dominated in terms of possession, but we weren't necessarily able to get output out of it. And we weren't able to find a breakthrough in that first half. The second half, bringing on Nketiah was a game changer. And I can't believe I'm saying on Nketiah was a game changer. That's right. I said it again. That, his running, the way that he tried to get into Fulham players' heads was something I would have never seen from Nketiah 2 seasons ago. So now I'm going to get into some of your comments. Let me know your thoughts of the game, and also let me know your man of the match. However, as I mentioned early on in my match reaction, the transfer window is not over. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we do sign the reinforcements that we need. I still feel like we need the left center mid and a winger. Hopefully we can get both, because I do feel we can strengthen just one more level above. And you know what? If Partey, the injury is serious, I really hope it's not. We saw the reports today from extensive, and Zinchenko not being in the squad today was due to a precaution. And playing Aston Villa next at home, I really feel we up the intensity, we up the momentum, and get behind this team. There were some people in my chat today after the first half, they were saying Arteta out. This is ridiculous. 4 wins in 4, 3 points is what matters to me, and today we got the job done. Definitely it wasn't easy, but there's some players out there I need to give credit to, and Gabriel Magalhaes is one of them as well. Today's game, to me, summarized, goes down as Red Dead Redemption for the Arsenal. Last season and 2 seasons ago, there were some games where, we were leading by a goal or we were down by a goal and we struggled to come back into the game. Or even there were times where we went to the North London Derby away from home and we couldn't execute our game plan at all. And I know they're 2 different levels of teams in terms of players and intensity, but today's game 2 seasons ago, I would have been really nervous for. And I knew I wasn't going to underestimate our opponent, Fulham, but I also knew that the boys had it in them to pull it through. I was nervous in the first half when we still didn't have a goal and we were down by a goal. And then after that, in the second half, when we pulled it back with Nketiah coming on, I really felt like that was a game-changing impact. And he changed the intensity of the game. He opened up the game that could have went really bad for us, I felt, in the end. And you know what? Bringing someone on off the bench as an impact substitution who has fresh legs is what we needed in that moment. And I really felt like he made the opposition confused in terms of his running and running around on the right and the left-hand side as well, if you recall. So I really feel that he does deserve to start against Aston Villa. So here's a key point I'm going to throw out to you guys. Do you guys feel Eddie Nketiah should start ahead of Gabriel Martinelli for Aston Villa? And in this sense, I'm going to say, Do you feel Martinelli should be rested for Aston Villa and instead we give Eddie Nketiah a chance? The other thing I liked about Nketiah today was his movement on and off the ball, his running from the right to the left. His final decision making is something that needs to be worked on a bit more in training, but onwards and upwards. And the same thing for Martin Odegaard. Brilliant performance today. He was rock solid and truly demonstrated a captaincy performance. He took that game when we were down a goal by the scruff of his neck, and that's something Cesc Fabregas did. So I'm really glad with this signing. We have a steal and a gem of a player in Martin Odegaard, and please get behind this team. That's all I ask. Get behind this team. Give these players a chance. There are some people whining and complaining, saying we're going to lose to Fulham before we even kicked ball. There's no room for that. I really don't understand that. But let me get into your comments. I really apologize for not getting into them sooner. And shout out to everyone tuned in. If you haven't already left a like on the video, and if you like what you heard so far, do make sure to like the video. Check out my other videos on my channel. You can see my latest video at the top. And you can also see my playlist. I do have guest appearances on other channels that I frequently update every week. I'm also featured on FPL Casuals, a weekly show where I do FPL analysis and game week reviews, as well as rate my teams. Sorry. Okay, so Nketiah was brilliant, says Chris. Yeah, I agree 100%. Stanley says, if we took our chances in the first half, it would have been a walk in the park. We had too many touches in the opponent's box, but we need to shoot more. I agree. And I really think Nketiah needs to work on the, finishing in the final third. That's something that, can be improved in training. And I really felt that Arteta is working with these players more in training, as well as the training they do on their own in their personal time. Chris C says, we definitely need another holding mid. Elneny is solid, but doesn't really pierce defenses or even look to play the ball forward. Chris, sometimes the problem I have with Elneny, and this is something I've had a couple of seasons now, is I always call him sideways Mo. Sometimes he doesn't pass forward when we really need him to, and it's quite frustrating. He does the basics like an employee. He'll go in, swipe his time card, and he'll do the basics, and that's it. But he doesn't offer more service, which is why we really need coverage in the midfield. And we definitely need a left center mid signing, preferably Yuri Tielemans from Leicester City. Fingers crossed we do sign a winger and a left center mid. I really hope so. There's not long till the end of the transfer window. And by the way, at the end of the transfer window, I will be doing a transfer window review video. So I'll take a look at that and I'll judge the window on, how we did. Most of our business we did early on in this window, along with the outgoings. And I wish for the best for us this season. 4-4, I think it's a great win. Wasn't necessarily a convincing performance, I'd say. It wasn't one of our best performances. But I think if I had to put this game into one word, it would be redemption for Gabriel Magalhaes. And I really think this team, it goes down as a team effort at the end of the day. Some players stepped up more than others, and that clearly transpired on the pitch. But we go ahead and we move on to Aston Villa at home next game week, and hopefully we get 5-5. So we're still unbeaten, and we are still top of the league for now. But let's not get carried away. Let's take it one game at a time, and we can only play what's in front of us each game week. Alan, thank you for tuning in. He says, I agree on Nketiah. His growth is awesome. I agree. Shout out to Luca. Thank you for tuning in. Luca also does Arsenal content. His views are a bit different than mine on the manager. And in terms of Arsenal, he's a lot more critical than me, but he does do great videos. And he also does vlogs, match day vlogs. So do check out his channel as well. He's on the road to 2,500 subscribers. So do feel free to check out his channel as well. Luca says, we had too many touches today. Eddie Nketiah. Eddie needs to work in the final third. Arteta, for me, if we play like that today against United, United will beat us. United got 2 wins in 2 now. Yes, United did get 2 wins in 2, and they did play well against Southampton. But one thing I will say is at Old Trafford, we don't necessarily have a good record, as you know, Luca, already. But I do feel that, we can try to bring something to Old Trafford, and I don't feel you should write off that game just yet. give us a chance to kick ball before you start writing us off before we even kick ball, before kickoff even happens. I just feel like that's not fair to the players who do give it their all sometimes, most of the time. Quick Lips says, you blocked me on Twitter. Sorry, Quick Lips. I probably didn't know your Twitter, so do drop it in the chat below, and I'll fix it. I'm sorry about that. Chris C says, United were a bit lucky today. McTominay was a definite handball. Yeah, I saw that handball clip, by the way. So this is off topic from Arsenal, just to address this comment. I saw that handball video, and it was several times he did that, and it wasn't even reviewed. I say, if that was Granit Xhaka or if that was David Luiz still playing for us, you would know it was a definite red, and they'd be sent off. And it would have been all over the media for the next week, and it would be in Match of the Day, and you'd never hear the end of it from someone like Gary Neville. But officiating and refereeing can go either way. You guys already know with Mike Dean and Anthony Taylor how it was last season and how it was for Chelsea when they always complain of Anthony Taylor. Wilson says, come on, Arsenal. I agree 100%. I'm really looking forward to the next game at home with Aston Villa. And as I always say, we are the 12th man in that stadium. And today, the atmosphere in the Emirates was rocking. Even when we were a goal down, the fans still stood behind the team and got behind every single player. It was really nice to hear the William Saliba chant as soon as the game started. I'm really glad for him, and I'm glad to see that support for him, especially, his first time in the Premier League, coming back to the Premier League after 3 times being loaned out. It's great to see him and what a massive impact he makes in our defensive back line. He is truly so Rolls Royce defender and the player that, I really love watching. Christy says, oh, sorry, I read that comment. So Quick Lips, thank you for giving me your Twitter. I will deal with that after I'm done the stream. Talk, thank you so much for tuning in. Congrats to Manchester United on the win. I will give credit when and where it's due. But I'm glad on the Arsenal win. I'm really glad we got the 3 points. I was nervous. I thought we would only get a draw. But shout out to Odegaard and Saliba as well, along with Gabriel Magalhaes for the redemption goal. I think that's what highlights this game for me in terms of it was a massive redemption performance from Gabriel. That mistake should have never happened in the first place, and I'm glad he was able to turn it around for him. And you know what? I think it's upwards and onwards for the Arsenal, but we need to take it one game at a time. Corey says, Melina, do you think that 2 more names are coming through the door? If we can't get Tielemans, we should be looking at Caicedo. Corey, from what I heard before, well, this could be paper talk for sure. I did hear that Liverpool are also looking at a midfielder because they didn't necessarily replace Sadio Mane properly. And, as you saw today, Liverpool put 9 past Bournemouth, but Salah did F all. And I think a lot of Salah's goals came from Mane, the help of Sadio Mane. I really miss watching Sadio Mane in the Premier League. Although I'm not a Liverpool fan, I really enjoyed watching him play. He's a really great player. And the other thing is, I think Caicedo would be a great player. Paqueta is also on his way to his medical for West Ham. So Caicedo would be a great player, although not Premier League proven, I believe. I prefer Yuri Tielemans. However, if we're going to wait a lot for the price to go down from Leicester are not easy to do business with, as you've seen from Harry Maguire, from Ben Chilwell, as well as N'Golo Kante when they got rid of them. Harry Maguire for 70-something million is ridiculous. So Leicester know what they're doing. They're doing good business, and they've only signed a goalkeeper so far. Leicester are not in the best of situations right now, and I think Arsenal are just waiting to capitalize on that moment. Fingers crossed it's not too late, and I really do feel that we have option B and C lined up if it doesn't work. And the same thing goes for a winger position to address. And personally, I feel the winger is more necessary, but I feel we are light in midfield. And as you know, Thomas Partey is made out of glass. He is aging, and I feel next year we should not offer him a new contract. And personally, we should sell him and let him go. Chelsea perspective, Coachella, thank you very much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. I hope you and your family are well, and congratulations to Chelsea on their win today. I did watch your game. Playing with 10 men and still getting the 3 points, that's what matters at the end of the day. He says, Saliba, what a player. Your team is looking good. Coming from a Chelsea fan, I'm really glad to hear that, and I'm really glad to hear the appreciation from other clubs and rivals for William Saliba. he's finally getting the praise behind his name. He's finally getting the recognition to his name and the credit he deserves. So the work rate that this player has, the calmness, the collectedness in terms of his game, that's something you don't see in a lot of defenders. And he is one of our better defenders. And, Ben White today did have a good game, but Saliba was yet again consistent performance week in and week out. And I've noticed that from week 1 up until week 4. Coachella says that wasn't nice by Liverpool. Yeah, and I did see something on Twitter. Southampton was violating Bournemouth by saying, if you need help, you can DM us. That was really sad. Hi, Dre. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Hope you're well. Say hi to your family for me, too. Thank you so much for tuning in, Luca. So I am going to wrap up. This was just my quick instant reaction. I wanted to go live for it instead of doing the pre-recorded. And I did do my Arsenal All or Nothing episodes 1 to 8 review of the documentary. And my last video was the Bournemouth match reaction as well. So do feel free to check that out. This week, midweek, I will be live on FPL Casuals to do a game week review of my crap game week and my captaincy blank. I think Mo Salah is doing his best impersonation of Casper the Ghost because he seems to be doing it spot on. Let me tell my future kids that Liverpool put 9 past Bournemouth and Salah did F all today. Not one goal, not one assist, and let me tell you, he missed 2 open chances, open goals, and did F all. Good luck to everyone for game week 5. I don't know how it's going to go. And 13 million Mo Salah? It's time to go for me. It's definitely time to go for me. So for all of you guys who are playing FPL, I wish you guys a great game week 4. Almost over, and I hope you guys get those green arrows and get a high scoring rank at the end of the season. If you do want to join my FPL league, I do have the code in my bio on Twitter. My Twitter is MissMelina7. If you want to follow me for FPL advice, for Arsenal tweets, or if you just want to talk about the Arsenal, my Twitter is MissMelina7. My FPL mini league is free to join. There's about 400 members on there. I'm somewhere around 50 to 70th in my own league. It's very embarrassing at the moment. But my FPL mini league code is VAZ0TS. That's VAZ0TS. You can join, but you won't be added until game week 5 when the next game week begins. So if you do want to join, it's free to join and it's just for bragging rights. But at the end of the season, the first 2 people at the end of the season will be given a prize just like last season. So I will do that as well. But thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this game as well. Let me know your thoughts of the game. What stood out? What didn't? What worked? What didn't? And who is your man of the match for this game? And next up, we got Aston Villa to look forward to. And most importantly, we really have to continue working our ass off in training behind the scenes and putting that work and effort into the pitch match day. Next up for Aston Villa at home. And then the big Manchester United game is going to be a real test for us. And I'm looking forward to it. But for now, up the Arsenal and come on, you Gunners. Take care, everyone. Have a good rest of your day and have a great weekend as well. Thanks so much for tuning in and adios.